Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's Friday, and you know what that means. Time for another jam-packed episode of ABW Detonate right here on YouTube. I am the old school AB, being joined once again by the bard of the boiler room, the deacon of distressity, the pontiff of pain himself, one and only, Kind Man. Kind Man, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. If we're here on a Friday, it means there's a premium live event somewhere not in our time zone.
That's right. That's right. In the
So
lovely...
we're going to get this out early because we're going to talk about the matches.
Right.
Give you guys a chance to listen.
Right. What about the lovely city of Jeddah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
If I had a nickel for every time I've been to Saudi Arabia, I'd have nothing.
How you would... So, yeah, okay. I've been to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yes, I have. Anyways, I don't have too much more to add to that. We don't have preamble. We want to get to this. As the Kind Man once said, we have a lot to get to. We have 2 cards to do preview matches for and to decide the fate of the ABW preview predictions heavyweight championship of the universe. So
that I put up without having to put
right.
up in this case.
On in a 2 out of 3 falls. Well, I guess it's what, 2 out of 1. I don't know what you call it. Anyways,
we'll get to the
mashing
matches.
it all up.
I just felt that as a fighting champion, like waiting until SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or any of the big ones, like I was not going to wait. This is not going to be a 4 defenses a year. It's not going to be SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. Like a lot of times, I would have done it the last pay-per-view, but I knew we were going to pick all the same people.
Yeah.
So because it was a very predictable premium live event.
Yeah.
This one, as we'll see in our predictions, maybe it is more predictable than we thought it was going to be.
Right.
But King and Queen of the Ring always has some twists and turns. Double or Nothing has 10 matches, so we got to have some differences somewhere there.
Yeah.
And let's see. I mean, Jesus, Xavier Woods won King of the Ring one year. So
that's right.
It's not always predictable.
No, it's not. But I mean, that was a Vince McMahon call, and quite honestly, this is Triple H's first full calendar year booking the show by himself. So, I don't know what I would expect to see out of this, but it'll be interesting. And maybe some of my picks are safe, and maybe some of your picks are safe, but we can get to that. Before we get into the picks, I want to let you guys know I did have a Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing lined up as part of this episode, but the damn thing isn't here yet. It ain't going to be here till tomorrow, and I assume that's because we had another 80,000 tornadoes last night. But, I mean, my God, I'm laying in bed at 2 in the morning, 1:45 actually, and all of a sudden I hear the tornado sirens blaring outside. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I turn around, I look, I'm doing this number. I get up, I go downstairs, I fix myself something to eat because I'm like, well, if we die, I want to make sure I have a meal in my stomach. And it wasn't that bad. I was looking at the radar. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't coming near us. It was actually clear off, clear to the north and the east of us. So I didn't see anything that was going to hit us. I went back to bed. But no.
Well, we had weather here in Connecticut the other day. I was actually supposed to do something for my professional career. It was a photo shoot for something, and don't ask why. I'm not very photogenic, but I had a photo shoot, and all they said in the preamble of the photo shoot was I needed to be in some place naturally lit. Okay, so I need to be near a window, and there need to be natural lighting, no artificial lighting. And I woke up that morning, and the meeting was at noon for a remote photo shoot, which I don't even know how they do it, but they do it mobily.
Sure.
And it was dark out, and we had one of the worst thunder and lightning storms ever. And when we started getting closer to noon, I realized it looks like it's 9 p.m. outside.
Yeah.
Because it's so dark for that. So I had to call the company and say, listen, I don't have any natural lighting. Like it looks like it's 8 p.m. here,
Right.
and we have to reschedule. So
Yeah.
I always
Man.
look for I'll always look for a way to reschedule taking pictures of myself. Um, so
What? Come on now.
well, it's not as pretty when I don't have a mask on.
Right. It's, is that what they say? It's Biffy time?
Oh no, I
Because
am not as photogenic
you're the prettiest.
as Miss Biffy that has got herself in some hot water of late.
Yeah. But I wanted to let you get the bottom line of that whole big long rigmarole of a story is about the storms and everything is, I didn't get my mail, so I'm sure I'll get my mail tomorrow. Where I fully expect to see my pro wrestling crate, which means I will be creating a separate video for my unboxing, and I hope you guys enjoy that. I want to see how well that fares. Just a short, maybe 7 to 10 minute video. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. Maybe a little bit of fun. But I mean, I never thought about it. But I mean, do you think you want to join me, kind man? I never thought about it. If you want to join me, you're certainly welcome to. I don't know if I have anybody to react to, but we'll do it at some point tomorrow after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, maybe there'll even be a belt in there to put on Roger because he looks a little
Yeah, yeah.
naked with only that hat on.
I know. I gave him his hat. He's not so lonely. But anyways, on to the show. We have a few different matches to get to, and I want to cover the WWE side first. And this is going to be your King and Queen of the Ring card, and I'm going to. We haven't aired SmackDown yet as of this recording, so we have no idea. At least, I mean, I have an idea, but of who's going to win, who's not going to win. But it's not really going to affect my picks at all because I think they're always been. Well, it could, right? I mean, look, I could pick somebody and get knocked out, but who knows? Anyways,
I would say if there are any surprises tonight, we can amend our picks on our Discord server.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a fair thing. I
think one of them does not matter what happens tonight, and one of them probably does.
Yeah, you're right about that. Would
be my guess.
Well, I mean, let's talk about them first. Let's talk about the Queen of the Ring first. I'm picking Nia Jax over Bianca Belair, and I hate to pick Nia Jax.
You blew me away on this one.
I hate to pick Nia Jax.
I can't believe you're going in that direction.
I don't want to. I mean, but I mean, I'm also don't want to lose the title again, so I have to pick the winner. I have to go against my instincts and do the thing that feels wrong, and that's pick Nia Jax, because I would never pick Nia Jax for anything ever in this world. I would pick her dead last for everything.
Oh, I was so surprised by this. I thought this would be one of our matches that we had a different pick.
Right.
I could almost I knew that this match would matter in our title match, and it's not going to because I am on the Nia Jax train as well.
There you go.
I think the Bianca match tonight, I think they're setting up Bianca being hurt. I think Lyra Valkyria, the winner on the other side, she just got drafted to Raw. I mean,
she's not
no one gets the strap that early.
No.
And by the way, what a snore fest. Although I like both of them, Lyra Valkyria versus Bianca would be, because there's just there's no anything to that. Just because the both faces, they're like it just doesn't make any sense why to put that there. So and just Lyra, it's just too early.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
For that,
there's no way they're pulling a trigger on her. I don't think that's the case. I mean, maybe they could surprise. I mean, like you said, 1 year Xavier Woods won. But,
no, I mean, I could see Lyra winning. I just think it's just premature.
Yeah. So we're both in agreement on Nia Jax. I think we're both correct on this one. I don't think we're both incorrect. King of the Ring might be a different story. And I could split this one of two ways, right? I was going back and forth, right? because I think the winners of these King and Queen of the Ring tournaments get a title shot. Is that
They
a
do.
correct statement? They get a title
That is
shot
a
at
correct
SummerSlam.
statement.
So how then can I accurately pick between Gunther and Randy Orton? And because I mean, if you look at it on paper, I mean, Randy Orton makes a ton of sense to challenge for a world championship. And it doesn't say that, you know, they're going to be challenging, you know, uh, who's the world heavy, not
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. That's it. Thank you. His name was right on the tip of my tongue. Damian Priest. They didn't say he was going to be challenging him or Cody. I mean, you challenge
Right.
either one, right? So,
Well, it's not like a Money in the Bank where you just show up and you cash in.
right. You have to
You're
you're
just
calling your
given,
shot.
you know, there's some point where Triple H makes the call that
Right.
this is,
You're at
it's not
SummerSlam.
their choice. The winner
That's
of King and Queen of the Ring don't choose when this is happening.
Right. You are going to SummerSlam, basically.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, and that's why I think, because look, Randy Orton's getting up there. You know, could he win another world championship? Sure. I don't think he's gonna, you know. But I think if they want to make and keep Gunther a strong threat, a real threat to the entire roster in the locker room, then he has to be made into the King of the Ring winner here. And I think he'll go on to challenge Damian Priest. I think that'll be one of the big matches at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is now 2 nights. Did you know this?
Or the Clash of the Castle.
Or Clash of the, well, no, it won't be Clash of the Castle.
The one in
Oh, the Germany? Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it could be that one.
Could be there too. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
That makes a ton of sense. You said that months ago.
I did.
Like,
I did. Didn't I?
Gunther would challenge for the title in not his country, but very close.
Yeah.
Not Austria, but Germany.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you kidding me? Even if he was the heel, he'd be over like Rover.
Yeah.
They wouldn't boo him out. They would give me a break.
Oh, it's like Grayson Waller in Australia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They ate it up.
He actually drank beer out of his fucking shoe, man.
Hey, I drink beer out of anything.
No. It's like I cross the line. There's some weird fucking things people do all across this planet. Doesn't mean I have to partake in them.
Hey, no. Alcohol kills all the germs.
No.
Anyway.
No. I don't want dead germs on my stomach. I got enough of them. Anyway.
By the way, I think you talked about Randy Orton. I would say in this case, if it wasn't Gunther winning the King of the Ring on the men's side, or King of the Ring on the men's side, I guess that's, it's
right.
Same thing twice.
Yeah.
But I would say Tama Tonga has a better storyline for winning it.
Oh, I do. I agree with that 100%.
Because them making, the bloodline this crazy group.
Yeah.
Without what's
none of the original members. It's like Menudo.
Yeah, without the Snortfest, Roman Reigns there.
Oh, Roman.
Like making them more powerful without Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I think is a more interesting storyline, but I agree with you. I think Gunther is going to take this, and I think Gunther is going to go on to Germany and fight for the title at that event.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I would fully expect to see Gunther walk out of whatever event he's going to be main eventing, either night 1 of SummerSlam or, well, hell, I don't know, maybe night 2 of SummerSlam for all I know. But it's not going to be long before they put another strap on this guy.
No,
that's my point.
He's good. When you look at the history of the European or foreign heels, he's right up there.
Oh yeah, he's top 5 easily. Gunther's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest European wrestlers I've ever seen.
He has a great shtick.
Yeah.
We talked a couple episodes about the people that never, are always a heel or always a face.
Right.
Like I don't see him with a face turn at any point. Like he's just one of those guys like the Iron Sheik. It's you love him as a heel.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you turn Gunther face anyway? I mean, how the hell do you even start to begin to think about doing that? I just
No, no, and I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm just
that's
saying
like
he's one of those guys that's locked in to
yeah.
his side.
Yeah, that's like turning Ricky the Dragon Steamboat into a heel. You just couldn't do it. But I digress. Anyways, our picks are equal on that one. Let's move on. We're going to talk about the Intercontinental Championship this time, and it's a triple threat match between Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed. I don't see Bronson Reed walking out of here, and I don't see Chad Gable walking out with the title either. I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in this match between Alpha Academy and Bronson Reed. Sami Zayn is going to have to teach the Alpha Academy a lesson. They're going to split from him, and I guess the Creed brothers are going to be the new Alpha Academy or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but that's maybe the writing's on the wall too clearly for that one. But I don't see Sami Zayn losing the championship. Is what I'm really trying to get at here. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I would say, and I'll say this about an AEW match later. Bronson Reed is here to eat the pin
Oh yeah,
to keep the Zayn Gable storyline going,
yeah,
which is a good one. So if there is someone other than Zayn here, and I'm picking Zayn, it will be Chad Gable, because I think there's a storyline if Chad Gable wins that Chad Gable can go back to the Alpha Academy and say, see, listen to me. I know what I'm doing.
sure.
Or someone in the Alpha Academy can screw up in this match and cost Chad Gable the
Yeah,
match,
yeah, and I think that's what's going
breaking
to
up
happen.
that group, which is a very real possibility. But if
Yeah,
there's anyone other than Zayn here, it is Chad Gable. There's no case for Bronson Reed here.
no,
There's no anything. He's there to eat the pin
yep,
to keep Zayn and Gable feuding.
yeah, yeah.
That's what will happen. And by the way, I would not be shocked to see Chad Gable beat Sami Zayn at SummerSlam.
Oh, I wouldn't either. I
Yeah,
could totally see that happening. But I
yeah.
think if you strip Zayn of the title too soon, it turns him into a lame duck champion. I mean,
It's just
take
there's a
all the
few
steam
matches
out of his.
in our conversation today that it's
Yeah,
just too.
yeah. Well, we'll get to one of them. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I have a debate on one of them. I don't know. Um, who's next? Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship versus Liv Morgan. And this isn't really exciting me. It's not doing much for me as far as the feud goes. Um, and I don't really see anything coming of it, like what Liv's Revenge Tour. I don't care. Becky Lynch wins. I don't care.
We have a disagreement.
Oh,
I'm all in on the Revenge Tour. I'm all in for Liv Morgan here. I think Liv Morgan wins.
oh
I
wow.
think, yeah, I think Liv Morgan wins. I think it sets up Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. It is. I think this one's easy. I really do. I I,
Wow.
I I think I think that it just sets up the next. So Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan is going to happen
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah.
As soon as Rhea Ripley is healthy, that's going to happen. So the bottom line is if it's going to happen, it might as well happen with a strap on Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. Like I said, if I had been paying more attention to this and thinking about it more, maybe I'd have given it more thought and come up with a better answer than that. But it just does nothing for me. I mean, I could give or take. The
I mean,
thing
hey,
is,
Lynch can win any match. We
right?
know
Lynch
that.
can win any match. It doesn't hurt Becky to lose, but
No,
it doesn't hurt Liv to lose here either. So,
and I and you know what I could also see when she loses, when Becky loses, I could see her and Valkyria having a tag team and winning a
yeah.
tag title
Oh yeah.
and all of that. The hero and the young kid that grew up idolizing her,
Yeah.
both from Ireland and all that stuff. I could see something like I could see that going because you
Right.
see Becky being a mentor to Valkyria. Valkyria's not ready to win the title.
No.
So I see everything pointing to Liv Morgan here, and it's setting up SummerSlam versus Rhea.
All right. Well, I've been told. Mark one down for the kind man. He's got it. He's got that one. That's your lock of the week, right?
I wouldn't call I wouldn't call any of our differences in this a lock of the week.
Okay.
As a former professional gambler, the people that say lock of the week or lock of the century, okay, or lock of
Oh,
you know. By the way, in college we used to gamble, and this was pre-internet. And there used to be these 900 numbers you'd call,
right.
and they would be like the lock of the century.
Yeah.
And you'd call in and they'd give them to you. They're like Nebraska -6.5. And I'd call in and I'd pay like, $1.99 a minute or whatever
Right.
to have this jackass ramble for 10 minutes before he gave me the pick. And then I'd hang up the phone. I look at my buddy, I'm like, oh, Nebraska's a lock. And he looked at me, he goes, I called the same 900 number. They told me Kansas State. Like,
Right.
like
That's your lock
that's
of
what
the.
they did. That's their locks of the week. They'd give half the group one team, half the group the other team, just so half the group kept calling. Oh, it's just
Who was in
what a
charge over
racket.
there? Who's in charge over there? Tony Khan?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck. Anyways. Yeah, that's exactly where I stole it from. Lock of the week. You feel like it's a real sure thing. And last up, our undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. This is a commercial match. Cody's not losing the championship. They just want to see Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes wrestle, and that's fine. I don't know. It's going to be a big nothing burger for me, and I'm a Cody fan, but I think this is a big nothing burger. So
No, absolutely. And unless that sponsorship deal with Prime is so big that this was a part of it,
right?
there could be no case made
No,
for it. And by the way, I love Logan Paul. I think he's fabulous.
he's a talented
I think
kid.
I think for the amount of experience he has doing this,
Yeah,
he's as good as I've ever seen.
yeah,
You know what I mean? At this stage of how many times he's been in the ring.
yeah. No,
But
you're
yeah,
right.
no, this just isn't. I mean, there's no negative to Logan Paul losing,
Oh no, there isn't. But
and
it's not
and
going
the
to hurt
and the
him to lose either.
backlash if Cody loses it this early is just doesn't make any sense.
Right, right. I mean, the thing is, it's not going to hurt him to lose either.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that's the point.
and this is the whole story with all of this. This is how I think we were able to come up with these scenarios where we come up and have such similar picks because,
Right.
the first question I come to mind is who gets hurt most eating the pin, right?
Yeah. Who
Maybe
benefits most?
right, who benefits most from getting the pinfall? So
Right.
I don't mean to give trade secrets away, folks, but there you go. It's real hard stuff. But no, yeah, I think that's,
So
all in all, I think that's,
5 matches, King and Queen of
yeah,
the Ring.
yeah,
We have one difference.
yeah, yeah. Which
On
after
Saturday
night one,
afternoon in Saudi Arabia, one of us is coming out 1-0 and going to Double or Nothing.
on Sunday, the very next day, AEW hosts their annual Double or Nothing. This is their 5-year anniversary show.
Yes.
And Tony Khan has pledged to make it special and memorable. And he says we're going to be bringing out all the old hits. I don't know what the hell that means, but there you go. And yeah. So let's round up some of these matches.
And they double or nothing WWE by taking 5 matches and going to 10.
Yeah, I know, right? I was looking at that. This is what I don't understand why they think, okay, I'm going to go on a tiny rant here.
Go ahead.
When AEW first started, right? They had this idea that there was only ever going to be four big events every year, right? It was going to be Double or Nothing. It was going to be All Out. It was going to be Revolution, and it was going to be Full Gear, right? Those were your four. Those were your four pay-per-views they were going to, because the whole thing was, at the time, WWE was on their own network and was charging you $9.99. And, that gave you $120 paid for the year to watch all the pay-per-views, I think.
Yep.
And this was the argument. The counter argument was, we're only showing you four big shows a year, but we're charging you $50 a piece to watch it. So in actuality, it's $20 less than WWE's annual rate. So, it made sense. And AEW was really good at the time about putting on specials on free television. Well, they do that now to some degree, right? But now we've got a pay-per-view over there every frickin' month. And they're still $50 a piece.
Yeah.
Cocaine Tony
I saw a press release that Danzig, the Combat streaming service, picked up this pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah.
So I was all excited. I was like, oh, okay, is this going to be like a Peacock deal? And I looked at it, I was like, no, it's $50 on, Danzig, like the same thing. So it's like, okay, well, I don't have to stream it. I'll just watch it on TV for $50.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about this on a different show. And I do want to mention it before we go too much further, but there are talks within Warner Discovery to get AEW streaming on the HBO, or I'm sorry, on the Max app. So I would love for that to be the case. Please let that be the case. I would pay gladly. I would double the cost of my HBO Max subscription just to be able to watch every freaking pay-per-view.
Yeah, so, and plus I already have Max, so it's perfect.
Yeah. Anyways, rant over. Do better, AEW. Seems to be their common theme.
Tony Khan.
Cocaine Tony. Let's see. Let's start this thing off. I've got the first match I've got up here is Roderick Strong will be wrestling Will Ospreay for the AEW International Championship. And out of all the matches on the card, this one is one of the more interesting ones to me. And only because I think, this is Will Ospreay's coming out party. This is his debutante to the U.S. His big reveal to the world. He's going to be their new Continental Champion or International Champion or whatever they're calling it this week. I believe you have the same idea in mind.
Yeah, I think there could be a case made on both sides here. We talked earlier about, someone losing their belt too early.
Yeah.
And not going in that direction. But in this case, I just really believe they've been setting up Ospreay as the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you give him a secondary championship to do that.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the Gunther model, right?
Mm-hmm.
You give him the Intercontinental belt. I don't think they planned on having him hold it for 2 years.
Right.
But to lead up to the story of him winning a bigger belt, and Ospreay, I think, is the chosen one.
Yeah.
I think I just don't see a big win for AEW in derailing that trajectory right now.
Yeah, no. There's no upside for that. Will Ospreay, if he doesn't walk out the International Championship, something's wrong.
I mean, unless it's just you're trying to make that group that Roderick's a part of is a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah,
I think that's the only logic around Roderick.
Yeah. I mean, they've been a faction without a leader for the last handful of months, so I don't know. It works for them, I guess. Next match, Timeless Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's World Championship. And this is one, and I want to go on another kind of mini rant here, but I watched this program start where they were trying to gain or garner sympathy for Serena Deeb in a way. Do you remember this, kind man? Where
Yes.
Serena Deeb went up and she's like, I had a sick illness and, I
Yeah.
was blah, blah, blah. And then
Yep.
Tony Storm came back, was making fun of it and yada, 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 as a heel, as she should be.
Yeah.
And, somewhere along the way, we went from that to now Serena Deeb clocking Tony Storm with a chair and ranking an ankle lock on her in the middle of the ring before their match. So who's in? What's going on?
This is classic screwing up a storyline.
Ah,
It is what it is, because Serena Deeb is talented enough to win this championship.
she is.
And absolutely could win the championship.
She
The
could.
problem is they've fucked this up so bad
Oh God.
by spinning your head on who the fuck Serena Deeb even is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Tony Storm will win this match.
Yeah.
Because she's a clear character. And they've just mismanaged this
Well,
match.
yeah. The whole thing is mismanaged.
Because you don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
Like, what is Serena Deeb? Who is she entering the match as? They've
Right.
confused her character so much that she can't win.
Exactly. They just watered her off. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm like, when did they do a heel turn switch for no fucking reason? It makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. So yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
fuck it.
maybe they do it because the crowd loves Tony Storm, even though she's a heel.
Well,
Maybe
then
they
that's
tried to
fine.
make, maybe they tried to make, give a heel turn to Serena Deeb because the heel is actually the face, because everyone
Yeah.
loves her. But it didn't work.
Doesn't that say more about their booking than anything else? They can't
Yeah,
figure
that's what
out
I'm
which
saying.
one the fucking heel and which one the fucking face is.
Well, and you're trying to spin. It's you know what, like, who I'll give a comparison to for Tony Storm is Steve Austin.
Okay.
He was a badass that did bad things, that did, that everyone just fucking, as soon as you hear the glass breaking, the place blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Tony Storm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can see that from a crowd reaction perspective. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, did you pick Tony Storm as well? I think you did, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just just the way they did it. I don't see a storyline for Serena Deeb winning.
And I'm pissed off because Serena Deeb is way better. She deserves way better than this.
She's great, but by the way, the longer we keep Tony Storm in the spotlight, the better for me. Because I love that shit. I am so in.
Yeah.
I'm so in on Tony Storm. I mean, physically, I wouldn't mind a little plastic surgery, but other than that,
plastic surgery. What's wrong with you?
No, for Tony Storm.
No, that's what I mean. Not for her.
No.
She doesn't need any. What are you talking about, man?
Hey, when you're saying tits out, you gotta back that up.
Oh man, come on. She does not need the McMahon special.
She does not need it. It wouldn't hurt her.
No. I think it would hurt her, but that's just me. I think it would hurt her. Anyways, enough about Tony's tits. Let's get on with
He's the one that brings attention to him, not us.
Right, yeah. Let's see. Next up we have Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black for the AEW TNT Championship. And I don't see, this is another case where, this is the logic that I used, fair enough, but they just put the strap on Copeland. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for them to take it off of him at this point because he's a way bigger celebrity than, dare I say, Malachi Black is. And therefore, Malachi Black is not going to win the title. But I think this is just a continuation for him. This is a feud that's going to keep going for a little while. They're going to bring out the Brood thing, as you saw on on Wednesday night, was it? They splattered blood all over Malachi Black. It looked like he got swallowed by a whale, got spit back out. Just disgusting. But no,
for Gangrel to come out.
I don't know about that. Maybe he does show up. I don't know. Gangrel would be a weird thing to see, but all right. I don't even think they could call him Gangrel. They'd have to call him David Heath or the Vampire Warrior. But I digress. Anyways,
Yeah,
I don't see Adam Copeland losing this match.
No, neither do I. I don't think there's much mystery here. Nothing much I can add to that.
Yeah.
I do think the feud will continue.
So, yeah.
There's going to be something that happens in the match that's interesting enough to keep the feud continue.
Yeah. Not many AEW matches ended in disqualification, but I could see this one doing that. And people would probably be like booing it because of the finish, but sometimes you need to have a disqualification in a match, folks.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. This is an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match.
Can you explain to me what the fuck that means? Because I have no idea.
Can I tell you a secret? I don't know the fuck either.
Okay. So it's not a championship match. We know that.
No, it's not a title match, right? I think this is a match like if he can beat Jon Moxley, then he's in line for a championship shot down the road. I don't understand how that works, but okay.
That seems very black and white.
Right. It seems superfluous to just let's have a match before the match to see if you're really ready to have the match. And look, I don't know what it means, so I'm going to play dumb. I don't see Moxley losing too many matches on pay-per-view, so I pick Jon Moxley to win this thing. I know the title's not on the line, but I think that's part of the what's going to happen here. I think you have a situation where Don Callis gets out there and tries to interfere. Konosuke Takeshita winds up paying for it, and 1, 2, 3, the end. So that's just my humble little prediction.
Well, we have our second difference.
Okay.
And I'm going Konosuke Takeshita here because it's not a title match. I'd probably have the same answer as you if it was.
Yeah.
But I believe they're propping up Callis right now, where they're having him, on the microphone, announcing and all this stuff, and I think they're building up his top people, and I think when we talk about who needs it versus, all of those things we've talked about so far, Takeshita benefits from a win here a lot more than Moxley is hurt by a loss.
Yeah.
Moxley is still going to lead off every fucking show. I'm going to hear the Wild Thing show, Wild Thing song to lead off every single episode of, fucking AEW, just like he always does. And no one is going to be down on Jon Moxley if he eats it here. So I think the Don Callis family storyline is a better one here than Jon Moxley winning, because Jon Moxley winning doesn't do anything for any storyline anywhere. Because he still has the same storyline no matter what. He's a badass.
He's the IWGP World Champion. Is he going to eat a pin?
But he doesn't
or
lose
a loss?
it here.
Well, is he still going to eat a pin or a loss on TV as the IWGP champion?
I don't even know what the IWGP championship is. So
it's a Japanese promotion. Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand it's a Japanese promotion, but I'm not Japanese.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So I don't watch pay-per-views in that time zone. I'm lucky that Saudi Arabia is at 1 p.m. Okay.
Is that what time it starts tomorrow? Is 1?
1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing we're getting this show out now so they can have plenty of time to watch.
By the way, that's why we're getting it out.
That's right. That's right.
We wouldn't be here on a Friday night. I wouldn't be as punchy as I am.
No.
And Saturday morning, I'm a lot more reserved.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, that one's on the pike. We have that one as our secondary difference. So if you take 2 straight, it's over. You win right there. But if you
Well,
take
yeah.
one and I take
I mean,
one,
it depends. It depends on how many differences we have here.
oh yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
we're running out of
we
matches.
are running out of matches, right? Let's move on to the next one. I have Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy, and I see Orange Cassidy winning this match. And I don't want Orange Cassidy to win this match, and I don't want Trent Beretta to lose this match. But I don't think that's going to happen that way.
Yeah. Um, this one is a bathroom trip match. Um,
Yeah,
they're playing this up as being such like just hatred, like really like and I guess people care. I don't. I'm going Orange Cassidy here. I saw a stat the other day that Orange Cassidy has won more than double the AEW matches that anyone else in the history of AEW. He has over 150 wins, and no one else in AEW history has 75. Could you
the
believe
fuck.
that?
Dude has wrestled a lot of matches. I'll
So,
say that for him.
he has double the wins. They say he could not wrestle for 4 years and still hold the title of most AEW wins.
Yeah, yeah. He has. He has got a lot of ring. I think about it now, going back in my mind. Dude has a lot of ring time in that company.
So when you think about that, when you think about how many times they lift his hand,
Yeah,
like okay, he was betrayed by Trent Beretta, all this
right.
stuff. Like now they're going to pick the time to not have him winning
Yeah,
every single freaking time. It doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
yeah. No, I agree. They're raising his hand.
I'm on Orange Cassidy here. I by the way, the better storyline is Trent Beretta winning.
Oh, I agree.
100%.
Trent Beretta should win.
Oh no, just create a badass situation. Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be
Trent
great.
Beretta.
It would actually make these two interesting.
It would, and it would elevate Trent Beretta if they did
Yeah.
it that way.
Well, Trent
Now,
Beretta
now
needs
watch.
it
He
in
needs it.
Orange
That's what
County.
I'm saying. Yeah, he needs it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Now, if we watch the show after the fact and they do exactly what we just laid out, then we know they're listening.
Well, also, I looked up some picks on this, especially on the AEW side, because I just wanted to do my homework because I this is the first time I've picked AEW. But I looked on Bleacher Report, and this was one of in all 15 matches across both pay-per-views,
Mm-hmm.
this was one of the only matches that the writers at Bleacher Report went straight down the middle. 3 people
Right.
picked Beretta, 3 people picked Orange Cassidy.
Wow. Okay. It's gonna be tough.
So that was the one where I said, okay, so there are people out there that think that they're going to go with the storyline of Beretta, which I think is the better one. Since we
Oh, I
both
think so
picked
too.
Orange Cassidy, quite frankly, I'll be cheering for that.
Yeah, and I would too. They need to build more stars in that company. I mean,
Yeah.
real homegrown stars. Trent Beretta is ripe for the picking.
And
So
listen, to a fault, I've been very critical of Orange Cassidy in not getting it. But I realize I'm not his target market.
right. Well, I'm not even. I'm in the same boat, so I don't get it either. All right. Up next, we have Chris Jericho versus Hook versus Katsuyori Shibata for the FTW Championship. Jericho is the champion, and I don't see him losing the title here. I think this is another one of those situations where they're just going to play it along until maybe even Forbidden Door, where they're going to probably take the strap off of Jericho at Forbidden Door. And I would assume at that point, it's either going to go to Katsuyori Shibata or another as yet to be determined competitor. But my money's on Katsuyori Shibata. And Hook will be not the champion anymore. And I think that's, not because of his association with his father's belt, but he doesn't need it. Hook doesn't need a title. Hook is Hook. Hook can come out and do his thing and still be over with the crowd and go back and, everybody's fat, dumb, and happy. So I think Jericho's ego, which I fucking hate Chris Jericho anymore. His ego is so out of control. You know, God, I hate Chris Jericho. Not even in like a I hate you as a heel kind of way. Just go away, heel.
No,
Just go
listen,
away.
I love Chris Jericho. This learning tree bit sucks.
Oh God.
It's really brutal. And I agree with you that Chris Jericho is going to win,
Hmm.
and they're going to continue this learning tree
I
bit.
know. The last,
It sucks.
the last
Okay.
like two or
I look at Shibata in this match the same way I look at Bronson Reed.
oh, okay,
Okay. They're going to keep the Hook Jericho thing going, which means Shibata has to eat it
okay,
because they're gonna keep the Jericho Hook thing going. Because by the way,
okay.
that does work. As painful as a learning tree thing is,
Yeah,
those two work.
they do, they do.
So they're gonna keep that going. Shibata eats it. Jericho wins. I don't think there's really anyone that thinks otherwise on this. Um, Oh, well, maybe someone thinks otherwise. Who's going to eat it? I'm giving you
Right.
my rationale of
Okay.
why I think it's going to be Shibata. I think Shibata is Bronson Reed in this matchup. I think Zayn and Gable keep going. I think Jericho and Hook keep going.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could be totally wrong. You know, I don't see it that way. I see maybe Hook going off and doing a whole different thing after this is over with. Because you're right, they are good together, but I don't think. How do you sustain this for another pay per view with Hook, and do the same thing that I think Katsuyori Shibata is going to fill that role? I think you're right. He's going to eat the pin, but I think it's going to be uh, under less than dubious circumstances or under dubious
Well, I
circumstances.
think Hook at some point, if he loses this match, which we both think he's going to,
Yeah.
is going to want his pound of flesh from Jericho. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's over.
Well, he might get his pound of flesh from Jericho, but he won't get the championship back.
Well, I'm not saying he gets the
Oh,
championship
okay.
back. I'm
Okay.
saying is they will fight again.
Yeah. Maybe on Dynamite or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but there's going to have to be a moment where that ends. And
Yeah.
if Jericho pins Shibata, it's not going to be on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. I mean, who knows? I guess we'll have the fun of finding out as watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right. Next up, and this is one I don't think does anybody see this coming, right? Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW TBS Championship. Gosh, I wonder who's going to win.
By the way, I'm still surprised where you're going on this. I did not think you were going this way.
Oh, why? Because I don't like Mercedes Moné? It's not that I don't like her. I just don't look. When she was in WWE, she was great. She really was.
She was
And
good.
then she got a giant head and she left and she got an even bigger head and she went to Japan and got hurt in her first match against Willow Nightingale.
Against Will Knight, yeah. Yeah.
And now she's signed by AEW. Hasn't had a match yet. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, Mercedes Moné wins the championship from Willow Nightingale. Makes all the sense in the fucking world.
It does. I didn't think you'd pick her because I know what a big Will Nightingale fan you
I
are.
am, I am. And again,
So,
this
so
comes at
by
the
the way,
expense of my
just
favorites.
I need a webcam of you cheering for Mercedes Monet and Nia Jax. That's what like that's
I didn't say I was going to be cheering for
well,
them.
no. And by the way, now that I've gone the same way, I've bailed you out because now you can cheer against them. If I didn't have Nia Jax and I didn't have Mercedes Monet as well, um, if I had the other way, if I had Willow Nightingale and Lyra Valkyria, I would love to watch you watch those matches because I know you it's cringeworthy for either of
I
those two to
know.
win.
I know.
Um,
I was actually toying with the idea of doing a live feed for one of these pay-per-view shows.
well, I was actually going to suggest it for what was I going to suggest it for? I was going to suggest it in lieu of this episode to do it tomorrow afternoon for King and Queen of the Ring.
Oh,
But we need the prediction episode no matter what.
yeah. We need a prediction. Plus we don't have the technology to figure all the bells and whistles of that out.
Well, we do. We have our backroom guys that, all the research staff and the IT team and everyone that helps put this thing together. Like, you think AB puts all those Kiss characters back there by himself? Like, he needs help.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Spare no
so
expense on this set.
I find it hard to believe that Tony Khan is going to think Mercedes Moné is this big free agent signing and not pay it off.
Right. Of course he is, because he's got to double down on his mistake.
Yeah. Well, because that's what all good business people do is they'll never pivot.
Yeah.
They'll just die on the cross.
They will.
That's fine.
It's fine for yeah.
By the way, maybe Mercedes Moné can pull it back.
I would be happy to be wrong.
When she was good.
She was good. I would be so happy to be wrong. I would if I tomorrow something happened and Mercedes Moné was like, I'm the total shit again, and she went out and rocked it on Sunday night, I'd pull back my fan card.
This, though, the one thing I don't like that hair thing they're doing.
Hair thing.
The hair thing they do with Mercedes Moné with all the different colors. Like, they do the same thing with the girl in WWE, the
Naomi,
married to the other Uso.
Naomi.
Yeah, they do that same thing with the back of the hair, and it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, look, if they want to do it, great.
No, do what you want. Be who you want to be.
I think it makes it look like a giant caterpillar landed on your head, but
yeah, I don't need six different colors of your hair. One or two will be fine.
In uniform patterns and patches,
Right.
Looks like a Celtic tattoo
with words in it.
Yeah, with words in it.
I'm good.
Unbelievable, right? Wouldn't it just be easier to buy a wig?
Listen, I'm good with whatever. You be you. That's what I'll tell them. But that's not a great look.
I agree. We agree on way more than we disagree on there, sir.
Oh yeah, old white men. We got a lot of
I'm opinionated. Right? All right. Enough horsing around. The Elite, consisting of the Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. I don't read it that often. Jack Perry versus Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR in an Anarchy in the Arena match. And this one, I picked the Elite to win this one, the Young Bucks and Okada and Perry, because Perry's return, this is his first match back from his long sabbatical, so to speak. They got the tag team champions in there, the Young Bucks, and you got Okada in there, who is their international champion or some of that. I don't know. He's the fucking Johnny Bag of Donuts champion. We'll just call him that. And I don't see a universe where Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR, that's a hodgepodge of mixture of individuals that I've never heard of or put together strung in the same sentence before, but I guess they're all going to wrestle together on the same team. They had a lot of injuries. I guess Eddie Kingston broke his leg pretty nasty, by the way. That's really sucked for him.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, wrestling in Japan, he was supposed to be part of the match, right? And they pulled him because he broke his leg terribly in Japan. He's going to be out until at least 2025. So,
by his age, that might be out till forever.
Yeah, he's no spring chicken. But I'm not interested in this. To me, this is another bathroom break. Even though it's got some of my favorite people in it. I love Bryan Danielson. I love FTR. I even like Darby Allin. I like Darby Allin. I don't love him, but I like him. But I just don't see them with Jack Perry coming back as a mega heel, with the Young Bucks establishing their presence as an authority, or usurping their authority as a heel. And even though Tony Khan came back on Dynamite, right? That doesn't. Tony Khan's not going to put on a pair of tights and run out to the field and get in the middle of the match. So at least I hope he's not going to do that. What was that?
At least we hope not.
Yeah, right. At least we hope not. So I just don't see. I just don't see it happening. All of my instincts. This is not one where I think anybody eats a pin, or is comes out better for a win. I just don't see how a hodgepodge group of Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR is going to rally together against an already established, well-oiled machine. It just doesn't make any logical sense. So,
I just think if you look at how everything has gone with the Elite and the Young Bucks and everything, like, they're not willing to take a step back.
No,
like it's just it actually hurts the storyline if they were to lose, because it's just they're such douchebags. Like, just like that. You need to keep your foot on someone's neck to continue to be that level of douchebag.
See,
so
what are they again?
Douchebags.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and they're not good. They're not entertaining.
Mm-mm.
They really bring very little to the table.
They're anti-wrestlers.
But they're here.
Yeah.
And we need to understand that they're here. And in the storyline that's being written, they're not going anywhere. So they're not losing.
No.
And that's what hurts here.
Yeah.
And I think I actually think if Eddie Kingston was in this group, it would be more interesting.
It would be.
Because I think there'd be more intrigue at what could happen. Because they like to paint Eddie Kingston as the one that just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And could punch them out and could derail that storyline.
Yeah.
But without him, it just doesn't make any sense.
They're trying to replace him with Darby Allin, and unfortunately, Darby Allin broke his foot and then got hit by a bus, and suddenly he's back. I don't know how that works, but there you go.
He couldn't climb Mount Everest, so he's trying to climb the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Anyways, having said that, this is the last match that I have on the list, and I don't know if there's
we have one other.
One more. Okay, let's cover this one, and then we'll get to your last match there. I'm sorry, folks. Excuse me. This is Swerve Strickland, the champion, is going to be wrestling Christian Cage for the AEW World Championship. And I'm going to do something maybe somewhat controversial here, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of not a tear, because it's not a tear. Christian Cage is the greatest thing that is happening in AEW right now. His whole shtick, his demeanor, his gimmick, his squad, everything. Mama Wayne, the patriarchy, Luchasaurus, aka Killswitch, it all works. And I know they were teasing, things would happen. Maybe Killswitch would do a turn on him, and then they scaled it back, and now he's not going to do a turn on him, and they're just gonna, let Christian do all these really, as you said, douchebaggy things, to his people, to his squad, to his team. Now he's feigning care for them at the same time, which I love it. I love the fact that, we've got somebody who's playing such mental chess with everyone on the roster like that. And I think his deal with Swerve isn't done. I think this is one of those rare times where you see a champion go out and lose his first title defense. And not because, he's not good at what he does. I think Christian Cage is very good at creating scenarios where he can turn the tides to his favor, shall we say. He has a lot of extra outside help. He has a lot of things going on that he could pull from any moment, right? I think he winds up winning the world title tonight. I think he winds up beating Swerve Strickland for the championship. And I think he and Swerve then continue their feud for the next, foreseeable couple, 3-4 months. Do I think Strickland wins it back at that point? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not saying he'll never win it again, but I think there's money to be made, and I'm not sure if he would do it at All Out or All in Wembley. But if I'm looking at the clock and I'm looking at the calendar, and I know that guys like Christian and Edge don't have a lot of time left on their career or their contracts. So, and maybe this is more of a plea from me than anything else, right? This is wishful booking on my part, right? But I would love to see Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland, or Edge, or whatever you want to call him, for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Wembley, All In this year. That, I don't know how you would get there, but after that, then you can have Swerve Strickland pin Edge or whoever has the title the next day off to the races. He never gets hurt by it. He stays in the main event the whole time. But that's what I think is going to happen. It's a long shot, and I know it's a long shot, but I think it would ultimately pay off a much bigger and better story. Just my humble 2 cents.
I will agree with you in one sense that I do think Christian is the best character in all of wrestling today.
Oh yeah.
I just
hands down.
Just I'm with you.
It's a masterclass.
100%. And by the way, I've always been all in on him.
Oh yeah.
I never understood why he played second fiddle to Edge. Just he's better.
Yeah.
He's just a better character.
Vince didn't like him.
So good.
Yeah.
So I'm all in with you on there. I'm all in with the Wembley, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage. I'm all in with that. But by the way, you don't need a belt for that match. You don't need a belt.
No, you
don't. To make that match awesome. So I'm gonna go with Swerve Strickland because of how he just got the belt.
Yeah.
I think it would be too bad if he just loses it that quick.
Yeah.
I don't see the storyline with Swerve and Christian continuing, and like you do. I see Swerve going somewhere else. And I do think this. I just think this is a match where Swerve wins. I think he will overcome the interference. Is what I think it'll be one of those matches that you just overcome. And by the way, there will come a time, I promise you. Here is my lock of the year. Okay?
That
Luchasaurus will flip at some point. I don't know if it's this Sunday.
Yeah.
But that will happen. And I don't think it's this Sunday. I'm not saying it's this Sunday, but if it is this Sunday, I'm right. But yeah, I got Swerve Strickland. That's our third difference. With one match to go. So there will be a distinct champion coming out of this.
There will be.
Because we don't have an even number of differences unless we have a difference.
Unless we have a difference on this one. But go ahead and what is, I think I know what the match is, but you go ahead and shout it out.
Yeah, and I think you were right earlier when you told me that I don't think this has been officially announced maybe until tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Collision. But I looked up the cards on a couple different places, and a couple of them did not have this match, and a couple did have this match. So I'm assuming this match is happening. Bang Bang Gang versus the Death Triangle for the trios. So I don't think this has been officially announced, but I think it will be it will be the 10th match, not in order, wise, but it'll be the 10th match of Double or Nothing.
Yeah. So if I had to, just off the top of my head, the Gang Bang Gang retains.
Yeah.
I don't
I have
see.
the
I don't.
same thing.
Yeah. Do you? Okay. I don't see a scenario where Death Triangle. Look, here's another great wasted opportunity. A Death Triangle. I think they were at one point trios champions.
Yeah.
Have you seen Death Triangle? You've seen Death Triangle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love Death Triangle because they take their craft seriously and they're very good. I mean, I'm a big fan of Pac, huge fan of Pac, but I love the Pentas too. Lucha Brothers, Penta and Penta El Cerro Miedo. But yeah, I don't see a situation where that's going to get any better. Um,
I mean, Bang Bang Gang
yeah,
just won
Bang
this.
Bang Gang just won up too. Yeah. So
And I do see this setting up, Jay White versus Pac. Like I see
oh
that
yeah,
happen.
oh yeah,
I think this explodes that.
yeah.
I think that's what you see as the next step here, but I don't see them losing their belts.
No, I don't either. All freaking 9 of them.
Yeah. So now, yeah. And by the way, that is one part of AEW I absolutely love, and
What's that?
I trios champions.
Oh yeah, the trios. Okay.
And by the way, I don't understand why WWE hasn't ripped that off.
Well, I mean, I don't think I don't want to go on a limb here, but I don't think WWE in their history have ever had 6-man tag champions or trios champions or
No, they
whatever you
haven't,
want
but
to
they've
call
had a
them.
lot of 6-man tag matches.
They've had six
So
matches, right? 6 tag matches.
so in my opinion, WWE is a marketing machine,
Yeah,
right? And they sell these belts. I got freaking 6 of them back there, for anywhere between 200 and 500 bucks a piece.
right.
So trios, I mean, it's just all the more way just to move merchandise.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I mean, like, why not? Like, you create another division. Like, you have these groups that you have a lot of times. You have 6-man tags every week in WWE
Yeah,
with no stakes because it's a tag team and a tag team. They're going to face each other for belts the next week. But yet there's one person that interfered and another person that interfered, and they just throw them together. Why not have a belt?
yeah,
Why not have that? I mean, you've talked about a lot about how many times there's too many belts.
yeah,
But in that sense, like that's a good division. Like that's one of the things that drew me to AEW when you got me to start watching.
yeah,
Is like I love fucking watching Daddy Ass with his 2 sons. Like that
yeah.
was to me that was a good time.
And Daddy Ass, thanks you for your patronage, by the way.
Oh, listen, I was a big DX guy, so
Yeah, I like Daddy Ass. It's funny because all these years later, everybody in DX is mostly in positions of management. You know, Sean and Hunter and Road Dogg are all over there in WWE land. Sean Waltman is still hanging around, but the funny thing is, out of all the guys in DX, the one guy, if you'd have asked me, hey, out of all the DX guys, which one would still be around, alive and kicking and wrestling in 2024? And the last name I would have told you was Billy Gunn.
oh, it wouldn't have been last name I gave you. My last would have been Shawn Michaels, just because that motherfucker late on,
Yeah,
you knew that all the wheels weren't still working.
no,
As a former athlete that's been put together with duct tape and popsicle sticks, like I could watch him move around later in his career and
Mhm.
just, not just with the naked eye, but just with the eye of a former athlete that has had a lot of injuries and a lot of surgeries.
Yeah,
I could look at him and say, oh boy, that dude's really holding it together.
yeah,
Like he's really on like it's behind the barn time.
yeah, yeah,
You know, take him behind the barn and it is over.
yeah. I
So
saw
I
him.
would have said Shawn Michaels, but
I saw him
But
live when I was here in Omaha about, I don't know, it was right around the time that he was retired, and I watched him come down the ramp and take a few bumps, and he just looks stiff. I mean, his hips look stiff.
uh,
You know, his legs look stiff. His back looked like it was stiff.
the
You could just
knees,
tell his
just
knees.
watching each step
Yeah,
from a joint perspective.
yeah. He looked like Frankenstein lumbering to the ring.
Yeah, I've had 9 ankle surgeries in my life. Um, Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had any knee injuries, or major knee injuries. But watching him walk late in his career was sad to me.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, Shawn Michaels just looked. I mean, when you think of the Rockers and you think of high flying and you think of all the main events of WrestleMania, at the end he was done.
yeah, yeah. Well, and on that note, folks, super downer. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But we do want to think about maybe getting this whole thing wrapped up here. Um, if you want to participate, all you have to do is jump on our Discord server. The link is in the description below. Come chat with us, come talk to us. And with all of that, we want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Don't be a jabroni. Drop an elbow on that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra saucy, frog splash over to that little thumbs up emoji. We would appreciate it. Also, don't forget to share our channel with other people you think might like our show. It helps us grow, and it helps you feel good about doing something nice for your fellow man. Once again, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody, and get well, JR.
Have a nice day. Share our channel.